Away from that, a group of Nigerians, saying on Thursday, had condemned the actions of the Nigerian army and called on the federal government to issue a public apology to Nigerian youths. The statement was made during the press conference in Abuja to address the fallout of the reports by the Lagos State Judicial Panel on the Endsars protest. Here is more details.
On Thursday, in the nation's capital, Abuja, a group says the report by the Lagos State Judicial Panel on the Endsars protest is a vindication and validation of the position of unarmed Nigerian youths at Lekki Tollgate, that indeed live bullets were shot at them on October 20th, 2020 by officers of the Nigerian Army.
To address the crux of our call today, gentlemen and ladies of the press, as an organization, we hold that the report by the Lagos State Judicial Panel on the Endsars protests is a vindication and validation of the position of unarmed Nigerian youth at Lekki Tollgate, that indeed live bullets were shot at them on 20th of October 2020 by officers of the Nigerian Army. We consider the reports as legal stamps on the already circulated evidence that authorities went overboard to interrupt citizens' democratic and constitutional process in a most gruesome manner.
It is important for us as people, more especially as young people, to celebrate what we have now from the findings of the panel, because as much as it is a validation of what we already know, what it does is that it acknowledges the lived experiences of young people like us who were out on the streets on that day.
While condemning the actions of the Nigerian Army, the group calls the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, others, to issue a public apology to Nigerian youths and victims of the Lekki shootings.
The claims and insistence by the federal government through the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, that there were no shootings at Lekki and that no Nigerian youth was killed during the unfortunate incident, against available records by eyewitnesses and international observers, was not only preposterous, but also shows the extent the government is ready to go to force down its false and misleading narrative about the Lekki incidents. Continuing in this path would further erode trust and public confidence. We call on the minister to issue a public apology to the Nigerian youth and victims of the Lekki shootings, which we believe would go a long way to pacify the wounds caused by government's insistence on the contrary.
They also added that in the interest of justice and fairness, those involved in giving the order that led to the shootings at the Lekki Tollgate should be publicly prosecuted.
I do not believe, when I say this, I speak for the organization, that the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, should be in charge of the findings of the panel, because the findings of the panel indicts him himself. Being that, as at the morning of the 21st, he had given a press conference that says, well, yes, that the army was there. Towards the end of the day, he gives a different statement and saying that there were nobody there and that the army was not there and people were not killed. You find out that there is a contradiction within himself. And because of this, we do not think that he will be able to facilitate the recommendations of the panel, which includes prosecution of the people who were fingered. He is one of the people who were fingered. We think that people like Babajide Sanwo-Olu should either resign or an impeachment process should be organized immediately to make sure that he's out of there and true justice be found for people who were victims of this dastardly act.
Furthermore, research into the Endsars protest in Lagos and its evident findings is seen to have renewed the hopes of many Nigerians in the judiciary. From Abuja, Mavis Ako, KAFTAN TV News.